Hello folks, welcome back. TEK-NANA here with another disassembly-reassembly video. 1911. I know you're probably saying, hey, you just did a 1911. But you can say this is probably like a part 2. In the previous video, I showed you a Kimber 1911, what was it, custom target? A custom target 2, I believe it was. And the disassembly process involved removing the barrel bushing, whereas this one does not have a barrel bushing. As I described before, there's another way of removing it to begin the disassembly process of this 1911, in which this one here we have another Kimber. Alright, this is my favorite. Kimber Pro Carry 2. Pro Crimson Carry 2. Crimson being, has a little laser right here. You take that, turn it on here, hit that switch, and the switch is right here. Whenever you grip the firearm, there's the laser. Here's the laser right here. So whenever you're gripping the firearm, alright, Pro Crimson Carry 2. But enough of that. Let's get to the process of disassembling this particular 1911 using, find my tool, this tool. Very simple process. So here we go. First and foremost, of course, you need to make sure you check your user manual that came with your firearm, especially your new gun owners. Second of all, check it. I've already checked it. I'll let you see it. Clear. Clear. Alright, but this is where you start from. You lock the slide to the rear, and then you take a peek over here. Hopefully I can get a good image. Right there, see that hole? That's the hole I was talking about on the previous video. You notice no barrel bushing, but you got that hole right there. And I had mentioned before that if you don't have that tool, you can make yourself a tool like this one. It's a paper clip. This is the coated paper clip, which I'm pretty liking this method, and probably somebody's going to come out with this idea. Using the tool coated so that when you place it in there, it is a little tight using this, but it doesn't mar that metal piece here. When you start noticing a little marring, scratch, not on the rod itself, but the sleeve itself. So let's grab the tool, this assembly tool, place it in there. Alright, place it in there straight, and release the slide, let it go forward slowly. Let's unlock it. Alright, and what it basically does is just that. Once you released it, you notice it didn't lock the slide to the rear. I'm sorry, it locked the guide rod bushing. That sleeve is locked to the rear. So now the spring is compressed, allowing you to release the slide. Alright, so now what you want to do is you want to, again, as the previous video, want to line up this lever here, slide lock lever here. You want to line up with that notch right here. So bring the slide to the rear. Okay. And as the other 1911, you want to press that button. If it's a little tight. This one has just been disassembled a few times, so it comes off pretty easy. Pull it out. Alright. Once that lever is removed, now you can take the slide and remove it. Remember, this is similar as the other one. That pin, be cautious with that pin. You don't want to be pressing that right there, because you see, it'll hit if you're gripping it. And then you force that to the rear, that slide to the rear, that's the pin that'll snap off. It'll break. Alright, that's your grip safety. So, be mindful of it. And there you go. There's the lower. Alright. There's tension on there. Here's the guide rod and the sleeve. You see the tool working right there. That spring is under a lot of tension right now. There's another tool. Again, I'm unprepared here, that you can use. But you can do the same thing here. You can take this to disassemble this part. You take this and you compress this bushing. While compressing the bushing, you remove the pin out, and be careful. It's under a lot of tension. Pull it out. Right now, we don't have to do anything like that. And then again, same thing. Remove the barrel. And there's the slide. And there you go. Pretty simple, isn't it? I kind of like it. Much simpler than dealing with that barrel bushing. And this is where sometimes you'll see some marring because of this pin is awfully thin. So it scratches the surface just a little bit. But enough of that. And remember, check everything. The rails, make sure it's lubed. This one seems to be pretty dry. Let's do some lubing right now while we're at it. Gonna add a little lubrication process here. A little bit of there, a little bit there. A little drop there, a little drop at the bottom there. Where the barrel's going to be riding. A couple of drops here and there. I know this was supposed to be a quick disassembly and reassembly, but I've noticed how dry this is. So let's give it a nice little coating while we're at it. And oh yeah, this one ain't too dry, but it is a little dry. I'll leave it there because it'll spread to the rear once you put the slide on it. Alright. That's enough for now. Let's put it back together. barrel. Make sure this is up. You don't want to be layering forward like that. Okay. Bushing. Guide rod. Spring assembly there. If you notice the arch part right here, facing downward towards the barrel. Just put a quick little drop there, because that's going to be some rubbing. You can see, this is what's going to be running. Put it together. Alright. Again, here we go. Line up that notch right there. Actually, I'm sorry. Just make sure we got the barrel. Over here jumping the gun. We gotta find make sure that's clear. Make sure it's lined up. That barrel link, just gotta make sure that barrel links is slightly lined up in there nicely. So that way you can grab it real easy. See how easy it is? Once you got it lined up nicely. And again, be mindful, you don't want to scratch the surface. You don't want to mar the surface. It's a little marring there, but that's going to be expected. It's right at the edge there, but you don't want this big curve, arch, or scratch. So I take it like that. Well, look at that, I almost did it again. And bring the slide to the rear. Goodness gracious. I'm doing stuff backwards, aren't I? There you go. And then line it. Get it going in there. Press. This is all the way through. Now let's take it and lock the slide to the rear. She's locked. And release the tool. And check for function. Remember, always point in a safe direction. When you're working on your firearm, any kind of handgun, firearm, make sure your work surface doesn't have any ammo around. Because you don't want to accidentally put a magazine in here and do some test slide testing and whatnot, and then you do a trigger pull and bang. But here you go, folks. 1911 disassembly, reassembly using the tool. Hit the like button and press the subscribe button. Also, there's a what do you call that thing? That little bell thing. Gives you notifications, I believe. If you hit that, you get notifications every time I post a new video. But you guys be safe, and check out our website, TEK-NANA.com. It's being updated almost daily, so it's still under construction, but there's some information in there, and the links to the videos I've done so far for the disassembly reassembly are in there, among some other stuff. And we're working on some products as well. This is a grease. So, okay, that's enough mumbo jumbo. Peace.